Stay tuned. Coming up in this episode, we discuss high reliability organizations, or HROs, an approach to safety being embraced by many hospitals throughout the United States, and arguably for good reason. The principles of highly reliable organizations have direct implications for first responders. This episode focuses on helping you to understand the traits used by high reliability organizations. But first, let's pay the bills.
Today's episode is sponsored by Midwest Fire. For more than 20 years, Midwest Fire has been manufacturing high-quality tankers, tanker pumpers, and fire rescue vehicles in the United States and Canada. Keeping firefighters safe while enhancing their capabilities is what they do best. To learn more, go to MidwestFire.com.
The purpose of this program is to improve situational awareness and high-risk decision-making for individuals and teams who work in high-stress, high-consequence, time-compressed environments with changing conditions. The SAMatters mission is simple. We want to help you see the bad things coming in time to prevent bad outcomes. I'm coming to you today from my office in St. Paul, Minnesota, having just returned from delivering 2 days of situational awareness training programs for the Odessa, Texas Fire Department. This is the second visit to Odessa, and I really appreciate their faith and confidence in my message and for inviting me back. Today's feature segment is brought to you by SimsUShare. SimsUShare is a simple and affordable way to help you develop and practice situational awareness skills. You can quickly build sims from your own photos to simulate almost any kind of incident, including active threat scenarios. And the new SimsUShare Command Training Center now lets you conduct multi-company drills over the internet, so you can even run drills while your companies stay in station. Check them out at SimsUShare.com. Okay, let's jump into today's feature segment where we talk about the traits of high reliability organizations. There's a lot being talked about these days on the concept of high reliability organizations, or HROs. The concept is being embraced by many hospitals throughout the United States, and arguably for good reason. The principles of highly reliable organizations have direct implications for first responders. This show focuses on helping you to understand the overarching concept of what a high reliability organization is and how the principles might apply to your organization. HROs, or high reliability organizations, are entities that have developed and implemented systems that provide extraordinarily consistent and extremely effective and predictable results. These successful systems help HROs avoid errors that could prove to be catastrophic. Early adopters of HRO philosophies were domains whose past failures had extremely catastrophic consequences, like commercial airline crashes or nuclear reactor meltdowns. Safety managers in aviation and nuclear power realized they needed to identify the weak danger signals present and take action to address these dangers and keep the system functioning and to avoid disaster. The organizations who adopt HRO practices change the way they respond to threats. As researchers who've studied these organizations note, some common threads have emerged. Let's examine some of those themes. Complexity. HROs are often very complex organizations where members work in complex environments. The environment is often one dependent on multiple teams coordinating their activities to ensure safety. The safety of firefighters operating on emergency scenes requires the coordination of dispatchers, commanders, safety officers, division leaders, attack crews, search crews, vent crews, pump operators, and more. The coordination often involves other outside agencies as well, including police, EMS, utility companies, social services, Red Cross. Hypercomplexity is present in airlines, in nuclear energy, and in the fire service. Teamwork. HROs consist of tightly connected teams in which team members often depend on tasks performed by members of other teams. Safe operations at a structure fire depend on the coordinated efforts of multiple teams of responders to ensure the fire is ventilated and extinguished, victims are located and rescued, property is conserved, and firefighter safety is ensured throughout. Many fire service leaders realize the coordination of firefighting teams is essential. Most also acknowledge that coordination has room for improvement. Knowledge supersedes rank. In HROs, roles and responsibilities are clearly differentiated and defined. The complexity of the hierarchy requires a lot of effort to ensure the teams are coordinated and the cross-functional team members work well together. One of the ways that HROs differ in philosophy from the traditional fire department organizational hierarchy is that during times of crisis, critical decisions are not made by the ranking commander or senior administrator. Rather, critical decisions are deferred to the most knowledgeable person on the team, regardless of their rank in the organization. Imagine that. Communications. In an HRO, there are many individuals making decisions. Many of those decisions are interconnected with the decisions being made by others. Cross-communications becomes critical to ensure safety. HROs have processes in place to ensure the decision makers can communicate essential information in timely ways. Accountability. Because of the nature of the business most HROs are engaged in, when errors do occur, the consequences are often severe and involve injuries, death, environmental catastrophe, and massive financial losses. Thus, accountability is a critical component of HROs. In the concept of response to fires, not all victims are savable. Sometimes the outcomes are scripted long before the fire department arrives. In some cases, the outcome may be certain before the fire department is even notified for the call. This is where the role of prevention becomes intertwined with response in the creation of a fire service HRO, identifying the potential failures in advance of an emergency response and working to get them fixed, often with cross-functional teams from multiple agencies. Feedback. It is a hallmark of HROs that team members give and receive feedback all the time. Constant feedback creates an opportunity for team members to continually adjust their actions and improve their ability to anticipate problems and avoid problems before they turn into crises. In the fire service, feedback can come in many ways. It is not simply the quantity of feedback, but also the quality of feedback. Massive amounts of information may actually be harmful to resiliency because team members have to sift through all the data to determine what is important and what is not. The goal in an HRO is to ensure systems and mindsets are in place to ensure team members get the right feedback in the right quantity at the right time to improve decision making. Compressed time constraints. Time constraints are common in many industries, including the fire service. In HROs, there's a design in their system and a mindset in their culture that allows team members to identify and communicate when they do not have time to thoroughly and accurately complete their tasks. The system facilitates a team member's ability to ask for and receive assistance. Fire department personnel often face challenges where personnel are asked to do more with less and complete tasks without proper staffing and resources. The time constraints at emergency scenes hampered by staffing shortages can certainly strain the system, and not surprisingly, is often a contributing factor to casualties. There are many lessons the fire service can learn from HROs. It starts with obtaining some baseline training on the concepts of what it means to be a highly reliable organization. To embrace the concept means fundamentally changing how many departments look at how they provide service. To become an HRO takes effort, commitment, and buy-in from the top down. It's not enough to embrace a few buzzwords like saying, "We practice mindfulness in our organization," which is something that I was told once when I asked what it meant and got the answer that made it clear that they had no idea what they were talking about. But it sounded good when they said it. The fire service can learn a lot from other domains where high-risk, high-consequence decisions are a matter of business, like aviation, medicine, military, nuclear energy. Become a student of the best practices being used in those industries to improve safety. We cannot become all that we are capable of by remaining what we are. It's time to open ourselves to new ways of doing business, especially when it results with improving safety to our members. There are many resources and classes available to teach the concepts of highly reliable organizations. In my book, Situational Awareness Matters, Volume 3, I list some of those resources at the end of a chapter that I wrote on the HRO concepts. If I can be assistance to you in providing additional resources, then just reach out and let me know. Here's some discussion questions for you. Discuss what systems and practices your department has in place to ensure outcomes are predictable and successful. Discuss how communications facilitates or hampers your department's ability to provide highly reliable outcomes. Discuss your department's system for providing feedback to ensure that all team members are well informed on the most important information needed to make quality decisions.
I think Rich's ability to connect with any crowd, that's a gift that he has, and it's easily transferable.
This is the second or third time that I've heard him speak. There's some teeth to the information that he brings.
It's been really good. Good mixes. He knows when to throw in a joke here and there to get you back involved.
Some tools. I'm a new lieutenant, so very, very interesting. And some of these things I can take back to the station and use with some of the new firefighters I have on my crew.
Something to get you thinking about your job more, big picture type stuff. I've seen him before. A good review for sure.
I have heard him before, yes. After he speaks, there's usually an enlightenment because now they're more aware of what's going on around them and what they're experiencing as they're responding to calls.
He's very, very knowledgeable. I'm enjoying it so far.
And that intuition, that's a big one. The video that you just showed up here, we're getting a lot out of this. I think this is a really good seminar, especially for new people and old. But I think it's very informative. This talk gives us more ammunition to do all three.
They're relatable to what we have experienced or very well could experience, so he makes it easy to let the knowledge sink in.
I mean, it's awesome. A lot of stories you can usually relate to yourself and calls you have been on, aha moment. Like, he just helps you focus on picking out the right things. It's awesome. It's a refresher and keeps my eyes open. It's good stuff.
If people listen to the message that he has, it's an incredible message delivered by a very compassionate person. Strategy and tactics are going to always change. situational awareness it doesn't change. It's always there.
He's got some good stories to tell, and he's very thorough with his stories, and it's interesting listening to him.
Very clear speaker, and he talks on our level because he's been there, he's been in the trenches. I think he's doing well, and I'm looking forward to the second half.
If you've been listening to these episodes over the last couple of months, you know that it is our 5th anniversary. Woo, 5 years we've been podcasting. Actually, we're heading now into our 6th year, so we've finished the 5th year anniversary. And we're going to do a giveaway, but to do the giveaway, I realized or learned that I have to have rules and laws to follow to do a giveaway. In fact, can't even call it a giveaway. We have to call it a sweepstakes. And so I'm learning a lot about how to have a sweepstakes. And in the process of learning a lot about how to have a sweepstakes, I'm understanding now that there are rules and disclosures that I have to do if I want to do it legally. And of course, I want to do it legally. And that means there's going to be a delay in the process of doing the giveaway because I got all that stuff I got to do, like rules and disclosures. So stay tuned. The good news is the prize package continues to grow. So when we finally do roll this out, we'll have some really nice prizes that you might be interested in. So hang tight with me there. The Situation Awareness Matters show was launched in 2014 with a purpose: to give a platform to those who've had near-miss events to share their stories. When I'm on the road delivering classes on situational awareness, I often ask attendees about the near-miss events that they've had, and they have shared some amazing stories. Those stories motivated me to launch this podcast in the first place. So those lessons from those students in my classroom could be shared with the bigger audience. That's you. The Situational Awareness Matters show, podcasted as SAMatters Radio, and the companion video program, SAMatters TV channel on YouTube, along with other audio and video content, have enjoyed over 800,000 downloads, and I'm really thankful for that. I'm very honored that I can provide this platform for those amazing stories to be shared. If you like the show, please do me a solid favor. I ask this every episode. Please subscribe. For the audio version of the show, search SAMatters Radio on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and iHeart. For the video version, go to SAMatters TV on YouTube. If you find some value in the show, I really appreciate it if you'd give the show a rating and write a review. Your ratings and reviews help others to find the show, and more importantly, your feedback inspires me to want to work harder for you.
Real expectations, because SA matters.
Know your limit. Know your partner's limit, because SA matters. Assumptions are bad. SA matters.
Proper PPE is important, because SA matters.
Flawed situational awareness is a really big deal. SA matters. Know your water supply, because SA matters. Bears and Cougars, SA matters.
Go versus no-go, because SA matters.
Confidence is good. Overconfidence is bad. SA matters.
Buddies matter, because SA matters.
SA matters, so don't get angry.
When the pigs are eating lemons, SA matters.
Our academy class is going home today because we know that SA matters.
SA matters!
Since 2007, Situational Awareness Matters instructors have helped more than 1,300 organizations and have trained over 80,000 individuals to improve high-risk decision-making, including first responders, industrial workers, military personnel, business leaders, medical professionals, utility workers, highway workers, public transportation operators, aviation workers, oil refinery process operators, and more. If you work in a high-risk, high-consequence decision-making environment We're here to help improve your safety and your survival, and to help you accomplish the most important mission of all, and that's to go home to the ones who love you. Now, I'd like to take a moment to honor and thank the companies, organizations, agencies, and departments that have hosted recent Situational Awareness Matters training for their team members. The Safety Institute Conference, Syncrude Canada Oil Refinery, the National Volunteer Fire Council Summit, the National Fire Protection Association Conference, the Itasca County Emergency Communications Center, and the Odessa Fire Department. If you're interested in knowing where we're going to be upcoming, here's the schedule. On July 11 and 12, I'll be doing situational awareness consulting for an industrial facility in Wisconsin. July 15 to 16 at the Southeast Texas Regional Advisory Council EMS Committee training seminars in Houston, Texas. July 24 to 25 at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. July 26 at the North Metro Fire District in Broomfield, Colorado. July 31 at the Evans Fire Department in Evans, Colorado. August 8th to 9th, Fire Rescue International, Atlanta, Georgia. August 14 through 16 at the Lansing Fire Department in Michigan. August 17th at the Ingham County Fire Chiefs Association in Michigan. And August 27 through 29 at the Voluntary Protection Programs Participants Association National Conference in New Orleans, Louisiana. If you want to see the locations of all the upcoming events, just head over to the SAMatters.com website, and the schedule is under the Training Programs tab at the top of the homepage. If you're interested in hosting a program, just click on the Contact Us tab on the top of the homepage, and I will give you a call. Super easy to set up. If you want to become part of the SA Matters community of learners, there's several ways you can do that. Check the show notes for how to get connected with us by signing up for our monthly newsletter, by subscribing to the SA Matters radio podcast, by subscribing to the SA Matters TV YouTube channel, and how to follow us on social media channels of Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. There we share ideas about how to improve situational awareness, how to make better decisions under stress, and how to improve skills of critical thinking and resilient problem solving. Well, that's it. Episode 275 of the Situational Awareness Matters show is complete. Thank you to our platinum sponsor, Midwest Fire. Thank you to our feature segment sponsor, SimsUShare. Thank you to our associate sponsor, Chief Miller. Thank you to all the companies, agencies, and organizations and associations that have hosted Situational Awareness Matters training programs. Thank you to all the organizations that have hosted live stream training programs where I come to your organization live via the internet to train your members. Thank you to the more than 3,000 students and graduates of the highly acclaimed Situational Awareness Matters Online Academy. The feedback I've received from Academy graduates is just amazing and humbling, and I thank you for that. And most importantly, thank you, the listeners and the viewers of this show, for sharing some of your valuable time with me today. I really appreciate your support of the SA Matters mission. Be safe out there, and may the peace of the Lord and strong situational awareness be with you always.
You've been listening to the Situational Awareness Matters radio show with Dr. Richard B. Gassaway. If you are interested in learning more about situational awareness, human factors, and decision-making under stress, visit SAMatters.com. If you are interested in booking Dr. Gassaway for an upcoming event, visit his personal website at richgassaway.com.